Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about my first ever synth, technically, which I got recently, and I say technically because it is a MIDI controller, so I'll just refer to it as that. However, you can hear back the MIDI notes you're playing like in your headphones, and so it technically is a synth as well. But this is great. This is way better, like a mile better than just using the piano roll in Mixcraft, because I've been using that for a pretty long time now, and it's just gotten tedious. And like, I've uploaded demos, and as you could probably hear, especially with the stuff I made before my most recent demo, it's just very static feeling. Like, even if you you use like the humanized feature in Mixcraft, because Mixcraft has a lot of features, although it does crash pretty often, which kind of stinks. But rather than that, it's pretty good, and it does also freeze a little bit sometimes. But again, rather than that, Mixcraft is great. It has a bunch of options, a bunch of just mixing options as well, and also there's just so much MIDI stuff, which is great, and I just love fucking around with MIDI. That's what I've been doing for a very long time, and now I can fuck around with it even more because this is, again, a million times better. Because it's so much better to play and record physically and like just actually pressing the keys instead of just very monotonously going into the piano roll and just like click, drag. Okay, I need to figure out a melody. When I can just do that here without even recording, because again, you could just hear it back in your headphones. And also another thing, probably the best thing about this is just I can just apply effects midway through my recording, which is great. I couldn't do that with piano rolls at all because I wasn't even recording. I was just making a track and then just inputting random melodies and notes and chords into that specific track. But now I can just record something and then apply like brightness and timbre and like specific effects for like each preset in real time, which is fucking very fun to do. Very, very fun. And you could also just EQ stuff. So if I need to like have like really, really loud bass, I could just crank that up. It's so fun to use, man. The only gripe, I have like two gripes with it. One is that for some reason this control knob that I normally see like just controlling like the software that comes with it, you could just like change the presets like on the fly with the knob without having to like tediously go in the software. Yeah, for some reason default, at least for like my computer, for some reason it doesn't work. I'll probably need to go into like the MIDI control center and fix that, and I will do that, and I'll see if it works then. But for now, at least, like default, it doesn't really work. However, all the other knobs work, but I did have to specify which VST version of the software I was using, because if I used a VST3 and I used that version, the knobs didn't work. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all those knobs did not work. The mixers, the faders worked, but nothing else basically worked, besides, like, again, just the knobs didn't work is what I mean. But then when I just used the normal VST, it worked. So I don't know. But another thing I really like about this is the pitch bend and the mod wheel. I didn't have access to a mod wheel before, and a pitch bend as well. And now that I do, it's so much fun to use this. They're just touch controlled, so you could just like, just like very, very, it's just so much fun. You could also just change the octave. I just make music for fun. I try to make something decent, but now with my most recent demo out, I actually feel like I made something good. Like, good, at least for me. Because so much of the stuff I made before was very tedious. Had like the same melodies, the same chords for throughout the entire song with very little switch ups. Because again, I didn't have the physical. I didn't have something physical, so I couldn't like easily just play like a counter melody. I had to like select a different. I have to like go into a different track and then make a different track, and then I had to input, find out a melody. But now I can just do that physically, and it's so easy to do. And it's also so much easier to play it faster. It's so much easier just to like fuck around with it. It's so much fun to use. And I haven't even used it for that long, and I already just love it. So, needless to say, I will probably get a real synth that isn't a MIDI controller, like an analog synth. I'll probably get that in the future. I might get a hybrid synth, like the Arturia Mini Freak. I might get that in the future. I have enough money to get it now. Like, I'm not like starving for cash or anything, and I can get it, as I said. But it's just, I might want to get something a little bit cheaper first and then might work my way up. But yeah, this is a very good beginner synth for just fucking around and making great, just trying to make great music and again, just having fun. That's what I love about music. It's just having fun, and this is a great tool for that, even with my small gripes with it. And also, the major keys are a little bit mushy, and these pad buttons also are pretty mushy. But rather than that, I don't have any other gripes beside that knob not working. But again, it's probably because I haven't changed the controls yet for that knob, and also just some of the keys just being a little bit mushy. But rather than that, I've had no other issues with this, and it's great. And for the up millionth time, it's so much fun to use. And I also got a CD. Let me get it real quick. The Surf's Up album from the Beach Boys. I love this album. I know, a complete detour from what I was talking about before, but I really love this album. Probably my second favorite Beach Boys album, tied with Sunflower, which is kind of a companion album, I guess. They were made like very close to each other's release dates, and also the last track on Sunflower transitions very well into the next track, which is the starting track for this album, which is very, very fun. And I just love this album, even with, if you've listened to this album, Student Demonstration Time, yes, it's kind of out of place. But even with that being said, I feel like the guitar tone kind of fits the next song, which is Field Flows. I feel like that guitar tone in that song fits pretty well with the guitar tone in the song before it, which is Student Demonstration Time. And also, I just like how upbeat it is. It adds a lot of energy to this album, and I feel like I just like that. And, again, it's out of place, but I just like that it adds some energy, and it also is just a great rock song. Just standalone rock song, it's great. I know some people won't like the, very, kind of very wobbly, very harsh synth in the background. I love it. I love that synth. I don't care what anybody says. I love this album to death. It's great. Also, this album cover is probably my favorite from the Beach Boys, period. I'm not like super uber depressed or anything. It's just a great piece of artwork and represents the album fantastically. This is a beautiful album from start to finish. Even with that, kind of out of place rock song, still a beautiful track. Just kind of in a different way than the other ones, which are more melancholic. And there's also some fun moments, which take a load off your feet. Great track. And yeah, fantastic album from start to finish. Also, the last 3 tracks on this album, probably the best trio of songs ever in the Beach Boys discography. At least from what I've heard. I haven't heard a lot of Beach Boys albums, but from what I've heard, this is the best trio of tracks. And comes right at the end of the album, which is great. But yeah, this is a fantastic album, and also a fantastic MIDI controller. So I'm really glad I got both of these, and that's going to be it. And I will see you guys later. Goodbye.